The object of Taxi Chronicles is to allow real riders with real stories share their experience and enhance your life. So sit back and enjoy the journey. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have a guy, very interesting guy, and he's going to tell us about prison life in London, or in England rather, and what it's like, and we'll just take it from there. So, nice to have you here today, Bob.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us, how long did you spend in jail, and what did you, is it prison or jail?
Yeah, I was prison, yeah.
Prison. And how did you find yourself there?
I was sentenced initially to 8 years. They took off 2 years because of my age and this and that. So I ended up serving 3 out of 6.
Okay, well how old were you?
I got arrested at 22. I was on bail for 18 months. And then I was sent to prison. I wasn't allowed in London. I had to put up a surety, so I had to make my mum put up money in case I breached my bail. I was not allowed in London whatsoever for that whole 18-month period.
I thought they only did that in America.
No, they do that here too.
Okay.
My mum had to put up. Do you know what it is? It's not like a bail bond, but they're saying for you to be out, if they think that you could be a flight risk, someone has to put up some kind of a surety. So it could be they put down their house, or it could be cash that needs to be transferred over. And if you breach that, proceeds of crime people will take that money and you go to prison.
So if your mum said I'm not doing that, you would have had to go to prison for how?
I've been on remand that whole period.
So that would have been how long?
18 months.
Okay, so you really owe your mum a lot.
Of course. I owe my mum everything, man. My mum must be, man. My mum's got mum, my dad.
Because I don't think I'll do that for my son. Any of them, I say, you got yourself in the problem. I don't risk
You
in
know
my
what it is, though?
house.
I'm always brutally honest with my mum, do you know what I mean? And she knows, like, even though I made a lot of mistakes, she knew I wasn't bad, do you know what I mean? And even when I did make mistakes, I was always honest with her as why I made them. Do you know what I mean? What my intentions were. Do you know what I mean? And for my mum, being a Hispanic woman, do you know what I mean? Refugee, essentially. She's been there since she was 16, but you know what I mean? To everyone else, that's who you are, innit? But for her raising a young black male in London by herself is a lot of, like, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of even like the cultural difference. She doesn't know what's going on out there. My mum's just hard worker, do you know what I mean? She taught me everything I know morally, innit? But there was a lot of things that we had to learn about each other. Do you know what I mean? Even learning down to why she's so on me or so hard, and you know what I mean?
Do you have a lot of siblings?
I have an older sibling, but we got different dads, so
Okay.
he's led a different life to me. We were raised by the same mum, so I never call him my half brother, but to the outside world, he's a white male. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Even though he's got dark features, dark hair and stuff, he's still a white male. He fitted in with a different crowd. He fitted in with a trendier middle class group. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And done his thing and had his own path, and there was quite a big age gap between us as well.
Okay.
Then me growing up where I grew up, obviously all my friends were from Hackney. It's when I first started having now a lot of black peers. Do you know what I mean? People that were like me and like-minded. So it was easy to kind of, do you know what I'm saying?
How did you land yourself inside then?
Conspiracy to a robbery.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So what's that mean? That they think you were gonna do a robbery? Were you planning?
Well, do you know what? Yeah, I know this sounds Hollywood or whatever, but basically I feel like someone in the group kind of set us up, basically. Do you know what I mean? There was one person in the group that was kind of, this is what he does. Do you know what I mean? He was been out there, he's done this plenty of times, spent time around him and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And when you're at a low point, when you're seeing the opportunity to make such vast sums of money so quickly, and you feel like, you know, there's no weapons, no hurting no one. I've tried everything else. I thought, you know what, this could be an opportunist, really. But basically, long and short of it, someone in the group, I feel, kind of set us up, because on the day that we went out for the thing I went to prison for, there was, like, Scotland Yard was leading the observation, yeah? They said this is the first day that they started observation. They had about, no word of a lie, there's about 20 officers, plainclothes officers, following us, surveying us the whole day. Do you know what I mean? And weren't doing nothing to warrant that kind of money being spent. I'm not a prolific robber or nothing like that. So it's like they knew on that day we was doing something that they could get us for.
But was any of your crew, any of your crew have a history
Yeah, one of them had a history. But even like I said, I know people that have been arrested for various things. Even if you're on surveillance, they will never have that many people on foot on that day. Do you know what I mean? You may have one or two things following you or recording certain movements to a certain area.
So they're saying they started the surveillance.
So they said they picked up the surveillance that day because the local police station couldn't keep up with our movements. But for Scotland Yard to be that invested, I'm saying, on that day, because imagine something didn't happen that day. They're going to have that many officers following us every day.
Did everybody do time?
Yeah. But one person's starting point was significantly lower.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Because I know I have a family member, or I had a family member who was in a similar predicament.
Yeah.
But they killed him.
Okay.
Yeah, when he was doing, but that was armed.
Yeah.
So that was it, and they were following. So they're following obviously a week or a month. They'd be watching and what's up to doing the thing. Because one of the guys that kept him been doing the crime, and my cousin was just standing. He was just like at last minute. He just got out. What was it, a week or two ago?
Oh.
And then someone said, we can go and make some money like a film.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing he ever did and stuff. So what was the whole process like going through the court, ended up in jail?
Do you know what it is? Because of, obviously it was tough, and that's why even my mum kind of backed it, because I was honest with her about everything, even how everything went down, do you know what I mean? And she felt like it was harsh what was being treated, because even leading up to my court sentence, I made the courts allow me back in London because I got myself a job. Do you know what I mean? It's the only time I've worked properly, solid. So I worked for about 8 months labouring. I was getting up every day, do you know what I mean? Wasn't associating myself with certain people. Was working every day, grafting. In my mum's eyes, she's like, you're already rehabilitating yourself, do you know what I mean? You kind of learn your lesson. And like I said, because the thing conspiracy is so broad, I didn't physically rob anyone on that day. I wasn't at the scene of the robbery. I was at the scene where the box got brought back to and it got opened. That was it.
They're one of those cash box machines.
But on conspiracy, they say if you're in agreement with any one of your co-conspirators at any moment, you're guilty. So if I tell you, wait for me here, I run into the building quickly, do something mad, and I come back, because you agreed to wait for me, you could fall under conspiracy. So at the end of my thing is because my friend was trying to help me out, is like, no, I told him to let the guy in his house, and he was like, well, you agreed. Because I was in agreement with him to let the guy into my house, I'm guilty of conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
The process, we go to the court, obviously it was a long time to get to trial. My trial lasted about 4 or 5 weeks, every day, 9 to 5. That was a bit draining, going through phone records, all that kind of stuff. Then when we got found guilty, I got put on tag. So now my last 4 weeks out, I can't even do nothing, even though I've been out this whole time without causing an issue. So I got put on tag, so I was already down in the dumps.
When you say you can't do nothing, meaning you can't...
Like, you can't go and have your last little blowout, do you know what I mean? Can't do nothing, you got to be in by 7 or 8. So it's like I'm already imprisoned at home, do you know what I mean? Can't go and stay with a girl, do you know what I mean? Tagged to my mum's yard. So that was the first little blow. And then, we come to sentencing. Started me on 8 years. Bearing in mind, I got no previous, for anything. No previous convictions. It was not a violent crime. The guy that we wasn't even robbed, even though we weren't there when he got robbed, he said I was not threatened. It was just a snatch thing, do you know what I mean? But basically, because of they wanted to give one of my co-defendants something significant, we all had to have the same starting point.
Okay.
And conspiracy ranges from like 7 to 14. Do you know what I mean? So I got started on 8 because of my history, whatever, and my age. At the time I committed the crime, they took 2 years off, and I got given 6 years. 6 do 3.
6, and then you do 3.
Do 3 on good behaviour, yeah.
How was life like inside?
Listen, life inside is shit. I don't care who you are, do you know what I mean? Unless guys ain't got a life out here, and I feel sorry for certain guys where they got so much guys in jail, do you know what I mean, that you have your own community, because that kind of like gives you a false sense of security, do you know what I mean? Really and truly, bro, if you enjoy anything out here, I'm talking the simplest things, you will hate prison. Like, even the smell of a woman. You don't smell no woman, you're smelling musty guys every day. Do you know what I mean? Showering in sliders and pants every day, sharing a cell with someone, the toilet's at the end of the bed, you lot got shit in the same room. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. If you go somewhere like Pentonville, there's roaches in there, rats. You go in Wandsworth, I was in Wandsworth for 2 weeks, a guy got killed because his cellmate didn't want to get extradited to Ukraine, so he killed him so he could stay here. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think about just road guys and that when you go in jail, like, there's a million other guys you got to think about. You got some mad white guys, you got Eastern European dons, you know what I mean? You got criminals of every background that you're living with, do you know what I mean? But like, nothing, like, thank God, nothing bad ever happened to me in jail, and I still hated every minute of it, do you know what I mean?
Okay, that's interesting. What was the overall thing you learned?
One thing I learned, that nothing was really worth my time like that. As in, nothing was worth giving up my time. I wouldn't give up that time because I could have lost my mum in that time. I could have lost anyone in that time. Do you know what I mean? And you're never getting that time back. Even though I lost most of my 20s to that one thing. Do you know what I mean? And that's something you'll never get back. The only like silver lining is the position I'm in now. But that's because I made a conscious decision to remove myself from that life, or putting myself in a situation where that could ever happen to me again. Do you know what I mean? Respect yourself. Do you know what I mean? Respect your mum. Respect your family, because at the end of the day, these are the people that are riding for you. My mum was the one visiting me more than anyone else, making sure I've got what I need. Do you know what I mean? Even though she's not well off like that, bro, she will do whatever she had to do to make sure I was alright, bro. And on top of that, it's the stress. Do you know what I mean? Coming out and seeing someone you love age that much because they're worried about you, and you're gonna come out and do the same things for what? Because I know you're not spending all your drug money or all your robbery money on your mum.
You're not buying her a house.
You're not, but you're taking girls hotels and you want to buy designer and all this other stuff. Do you know what I mean? Guys need to be real with themselves, bro.
Well, that's a great note to end it on. It's very informative, and we appreciate you for what you just told us. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you very much, man.
And to our listeners out there, do not forget to listen to our Africa Investor Stories podcast, where we'll interview people who invest in Africa from around the world. We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.